Today we're going to be looking at one move that is so important to the system that I believe for the beginner it's going to give them a deep understanding of what they're trying to accomplish through their martial arts. For the intermediate student, it'll give them the tools that they need to reach those upper levels. For the advanced student, it'll open up the doors to those hidden details, those secret treasures that will almost make their martial arts look magical. And for the professional, it will elevate their game and help lift their career. The move is called Deflecting Hammer, but I call it AKA the Game Changer. I'm Sensei Frank. This is Tech Tiger Martial Arts. Let's begin. So one thing that we need to always understand is this. We're going to be operating on one arm's distance, but the lead hand is not our furthest reaching hand. It's actually the back hand and the back leg that reaches the furthest. And the simple reason why is because if I'm in a fighting forward bow stance and I step forward with my jab, that's the furthest I could reach. But because this is my pivot point from my ankle to the knee to the shoulder, this is my pivot point, and I turn my shoulders, now my back hand reaches even further. And so it is with our kicks. And the kicks can reach a much further distance in aspect. Now basically there are three kicks we're going to be looking at. At a modified attention stance, the ball kick. At a fighting forward bow stance, the push kick. And at a 2 arms length distance active fighting forward bow stance, the thrust kick. These kicks cover a variety of ranges, and we need to learn how to operate so that we barely make our attacker miss so that we can complete the move. The first thing that we want to look at is the modified attention stance. Now, in a fight situation, 1 arm's distance, our attacker's looking at us, and we're just in this modified attention stance. In a more active situation, we're in a full fighting forward bow stance. And after the fight has happened, everybody gets up on their toes and they're moving around and they're prepared to move. We're in that active fighting forward bow stance. So now let's look at the different foot maneuvers. The first foot maneuver we want to look at is the step drag maneuver. We're in a fighting forward bow stance, and our attacker is going to be throwing that ball kick. So when he kicks, Bob is here at the line. This is 18 inches. We're at 1 arm's distance. I'm behind the line, 1 arm's distance. And I'm at this modified attention stance. If someone's standing here, they can clearly reach with the snapping ball kick and penetrate the body. So when that kick comes in, my body here is what I need to get out of the way. I need to get my body out of the way right here so that the kick lands right in front of me. And that will allow me to go through the move of deflecting hammer. So I'm in this modified attention stance. I need to take a step and drag. This is the step drag maneuver. I'm in this modified attention stance. I step and drag, and my hand is right in position where that kick is going to be. The next kick we want to look at comes out of that fighting forward bow stance, and that's that push kick. We're at 1.5 arms distance out, and we can reach with that kick at 1.5 arms distance. The last kick is the thrust kick. We want to be at 2 arms distance out. We're in that fighting forward, that actively fighting forward bow stance. And our attacker is pushing way past us. And we want to be able to contend with these different distances in our self-defense move. The first maneuver we're going to do is the step drag maneuver. We're in a modified forward bow stance. And understand this, these stepping maneuvers, they all look the same. A lot of people are going to say, well, you're not doing anything different. Well, it's true, I'm not doing anything different. What happens is, it's my foot position that's really different. So one step might be deeper and the other step might be a little bit more shallow, and my last step might be very aggressive, but really it's all the same. Back maneuver. We're in this modified attention stance. The attacker is going to throw that ball kick, so we need to get out of the way. Remember, our bodies are right here. We need to step our body out of the way into a hollow spot position so the attacker can't reach us. We're going to step back and drag that foot, but that still allows my arm to be in the vicinity to do that deflecting hammer fist strike to our attacker. So we're in this modified forward bow, step back and drag, the hand is still in the vicinity of that kick, step drag maneuver. The next maneuver is the back step maneuver. Now we're in a full fighting forward bow, and it's really just the shallow step. We're at a 1.5 arms distance. The attacker wants to reach my body here. So when I step back, I end up in the hollow body position here, and I can allow the kick to just barely miss. So I'm in that fighting forward bow. I allow the kick to just barely miss. Now we're in the 2 arms length distance, and it's an aggressive kick. He's going to cover a lot of distance, and he wants to reach my body here. So I really need to push my body out of the way. The foot is probably going to land on my back side in this kick. So I need to get my whole body out of the way. This is the push drag maneuver as I strike with the hammer fist to finish the move. Once again, it's a thrust kick maneuver. So he steps in, I do the push drag, hammer fisting where the foot would be to step in. Now really, this is only the beginning of the move. There are some fine details that we need to look into that will help to make our self-defense the best that it could be. And the first thing we need to look at is the hip position. Now, having the correct hip position will put us in an actively relaxed state in our body for movement. And that position is known as sung. Sung is the dropping down of the hips. Now, when we drop down our hips this way, what happens is the weight shifts to the balls of the feet and the knees automatically bend. And this is very important. We want our weight on the balls of the feet because this activates the quad muscles and the calf muscles at the same time, so they're ready to move. Very important. Everybody knows that. Secondly, we want our knees bent because that allows us to have agility in our movement. But the most important part about being in sung and having the hips sink down is that when we move, the whole body moves together as a unit. If we just stand in a regular position and we put our weight on the balls of our feet, and we even bend our knees. When we step, the body will lag behind, and then that's the opportunity or that split second that the attacker can actually hurt us. So if my hips are just in a regular position and I step, my body is just lagging behind. But when I allow the hips to sink down in sung and I move, the whole body moves together. As soon as the leg moves, the body is moving. And that is very important because it just provides us that little fraction of the second quicker to get out of the way. Another detail that we want to look at is eye-hand balance. Now, eye-hand balance is crucial to our martial arts because it not only helps us to establish stability in our movement, but it also helps us to predict and understand the speed and the distance of something. Now, your right eye can measure speed or it can measure distance. So can your left eye. But the thing is the eye can only do one thing at a time. So if you're looking at a distant thing, you're trying to measure how far that is, the secondary eye automatically picks up the speed. If you're trying to see how fast something is going, the secondary eye automatically picks up the distance. So when you're standing off against your attacker, you need to be looking at him straight forward so that you can pick up the speed and the distance of the attack at the same time. If I have my head slightly bent and I think I'm looking at my attacker, I'm slightly bent this way, and he attacks. If I shut my right eye, I can tell you right now, I can only see Bob's right shoulder. I can't see anything else. I'm just in this position. The only thing I can see is Bob's right shoulder. I barely see Bob. That will allow him to have a quicker attack on me because I can't measure the distance and the speed at the same time. I have to have both eyes on Bob. I have to be looking at him directly to measure the speed and the distance at the same time. But another thing about eye-hand balance is it allows me to pick up those small details in when Bob wants to try to hit me. By having both eyes on Bob, I can pick up those small details on when Bob is going to attack. For example, a lot of people will pick up their arms and move their foot to throw that kick. That is a tell. That is something that you can use to just be a little bit quicker, to be one step ahead of your attacker. Another thing that happens is the twisting of the hip. A person usually twists their hip before they kick. That's another little tell. There are many little things. Some people will duck their head, some people will pick their head up, some people will throw the hand. By observing the attack close, you can pretty much determine when that kick is going to come in, and that's very, very important to the success of your move. Now, all of this put together, we just simply want to make our attacker miss. When that kick comes in to touch us, if we just barely get out of the way to make a miss, that will allow us to go through the move. Deflecting hammer, the opening, it's all about getting out of the way and simply making your attacker miss. We will be doing some other videos on deflecting hammer because the information on here is so important. We really need to go through it. It's going to help to make your free fighting better, make your martial arts, make your self-defense just better. There's so much information that we need to go through it with a fine-tooth comb to get the most out of what we're doing. I'm Sensei Frank. This is Tech Tiger Martial Arts, and we'll see you next time.